Did someone order up an epic 4 vs 3 siege battle? Well, here is your order. Hey, how's it going, everybody? Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another Dawnless Days online battle. Today we are diving in once again with another online battle, this time taking a look at a pretty goddamn cool custom settlement battle. This is a unfortified town, which is going to be really important. Again, the entire mod is just gearing up for their campaign release, so mods like this and battles like this are super awesome because you're going to be fighting these on the campaign map. So of course you can expect to find the exact same amount of love and effort put into these as you can for something like Helm's Deep or Minas Tirith, because chances are you're going to be fighting on these battle maps more than those ones. So yes, we are diving in and this one is going to be pretty goddamn fun. On the attacking side we have Dorwino. We also have a army from the southern regions of Umber. We have the Iron Hill Dwarves, and of course we have the men of Gondor. Defending this kind of, I guess, Rohirrim Dunland settlement, we do have a force from Dunland itself, of course, defending their homeland, supporting them. They've come quite a long way, but we do have the Easterlings, and then finally we have an army of elves who are ready to put down the tyranny of the men and Dwarven alliance. I guess it's probably mainly because that the dwarves decided to go and stick with them, so they're like, god damn, whoever's got the dwarves on their side, I'm coming after them. And as of course the armies get closer and closer to the battlefield, I want to give like a massive shout out just to how cool this minor settlement map actually is. We have a couple ways to attack, so we obviously have this way up here through the hills. We have a pretty, I guess, deadly passageway up here where the attackers can come up. They're going to be getting hammered from several ways, and the defenders can choose to hold these however they want to. And then we've got this really cool stream running through the middle of the settlement with a few crossing points. Again, the defenders can utilize them here and here. And then over on the other side we have a couple other positions as well. I also really love how we've got like farmland scattered around. We have all the tents of the attacking army. It's just a really well crafted kind of settlement. And then we also have this entire swampland here as well. It's really cool. You can like kind of do some pretty cool cavalry maneuvers if you want to sally out. There's a lot of opportunity for all these different positions and ways to actually attack. Okay, the first couple volleys are going out, really trying to target down the enemy cavalry that have kind of overstepped the mark. The first couple volleys going to be going ahead and hitting them and actually taking out a handful of horses off there in the distance, kind of preparing them, saying, hey, if you want to come closer, us elven archers with our precision are going to smash you pretty hard and heavy. I also like how Dunland have set up their forces here with some shock infantry ready to support their shielded infantry. It's actually a pretty smart decision. I think they're going to countercharge down here at the attacking forces. Like when these Black Numenorians get a little bit closer, I think they're going to be in a bit of trouble here. And that's, I guess, why the archers are here, just scaring off the cavalry with another brutal volley. Every horse you take out is going to be big. Yeah, there's already 10 of them taken out there, which is nice. So yeah, I think this shock infantry is probably going to charge downhill with a beautiful charge. Yeah, look, at there they go. I also think as well that these guys do end up throwing axes as well when they get a little bit closer, which I think is why they're probably edging up here. Yeah, there you go, the first volley there. They immediately do form shield wall though in a nice little defensive formation, and again the players are going to fall back here. So already some really nice play here. Both sides taking this very seriously, not looking to overextend on any position. We do also have our first engagements over here. It does seem like Dunland are really taking the initiative here on the defense. I mean, it is their settlement after all, so it makes sense that they're going to be the main defensive force. And yeah, as we come back over here, you can see the charge has now connected, which is really deadly. This is going to be a very hard unit to shift, and without missiles, they should be racking up a lot of kills. Yeah, already up to 50 plus kills, and I think that's going to only continue. You can see the HP bar of these Umber usurpers just dropping. The men of the Dorwinian infantry have reinforced, but again, if these guys can kind of kill this, fall back and recharge, it's going to be deadly. These guys do have javelins though, and they're going to be able to throw them bad boys in. I also love the look of them as well. I think this is one of the minor factions you don't really hear too much about, but they have a really like kind of rich backstory. A lot of like elven crafted armor and stuff is always really cool. So what I would do probably now, and they're going to continue on the charge and kind of follow through, which actually I guess makes sense. I was going to say what I would probably do. Oh, they're so brutal, the javelins coming in, absolutely slaughtering What I was going to say is I would probably fall back and then recharge in to get more of that momentum, but this is definitely the right play because the amount of javelins just coming in are decimating the men of Dunland and really taking these guys out. However, they have kind of already got their pound of flesh, 100 kills, not too bad, more reinforcements, and the Elven archers volleying over, aiming down here to try and take down some of these wanderers, which again are a very, very powerful unit. As I mentioned earlier, a lot of this faction is inspired by like Elven artisans working hard on their faction, which looks very, very cool. The other sides have also engaged now. We have the men of Gondor pushing forward, but again, they're being met by a lot of elite shock infantry. And whilst that tower keeps on shooting, it racks up the kills. It really, really does. We also have a unit of the elves who have managed to actually surround, here we go, the unit of Gondorians. So they're really being kind of hampered on this side. And that number advantage they started the battle with is really starting to dwindle. I mean, I say that. They've still got 7,000 men against the 4,000 of the defenders. But that, yeah, that's the defending advantage right there. It does also seem like the Gondorians are just holding a lot of their forces back. I don't really know why. Normally, you always want to have your forces at least like here, just so that you can quickly, you know, react if there's a gap or a hole. Normally, leaving your forces back here is a bit of a noob mistake, but we'll see. You know, maybe they have a plan of kind of lulling this side into a false sense of security and then pouncing hard. Over on the other side, speaking of being hard, we have the Dwarves, and again, they're making really good progress here. The Gondorians have kind of taken a lot of the enemy forces in, and I guess that was their plan. So then it allows the Dwarves to really get stuck in and actually fight pretty hard. And yeah, I love the look of the Dwarves. Very cool. I think the Dwarves are one of the factions that are getting a little bit of a rework going forward as well. I know Mordor are like one of the next factions getting a big rework. Because again, you got to remember, a lot of these factions were released, you know, 6-7 years ago. Dwarves are actually one of the newer ones. But yeah, a lot of these factions have a lot of outdated assets and you know, stuff that just, you know, can easily be improved upon. As that dwarf just makes his way, carving through the evil men right there. And the same on the other side as well, this time with some shock infantry. So I do think they do plan on actually adding in and revamping a lot of the factions as they get closer to release of the actual campaign itself, which, you know, we can actually say is, you know, very much on its way and making really good progress, which is exciting. It does seem like Dunland have given up their defensive position then. Either they don't want to get hit by all these missiles, the archers are doing some insane stuff, but yeah, they've given this up, and if the attackers can push forward, they can break this very quickly. Some of the axemen from Umber on their way as well. These guys looking very cool, kind of very Corsair-esque. Lightly armored though, the elves are picking them off right there as another archer volley does come flying down. Definitely like the look of these guys for sure though. Very, very cool looking unit, and more of the archers being pushed off as they continue to skirmish with the elves. But, you know, these elves have literally not lost a man, and they're just outranging. And again, these guys are pretty good in melee combat as well. So after the fighting is all done, these guys can then just reinforce, help support the enemy line, and push on. But yeah, I really feel like Gondor should be pushing here. Like, again, this is why you need your army here. Like, again, I don't want to harpoon because, you know, players are just having fun and stuff, but you need your army here. So, like, these guys could have been committed here a lot sooner. And there's not really a lot of soldiers here, you know. Like, a lot of the forces have, I mean, defenders are playing great, right? They've noticed this and be like, okay, we'll commit more soldiers over here. Make it harder for the dwarves to really hold this line. I mean, they're still making progress here, as dwarves do, you know, that sturdy armor, that stout heart. They're doing a great job, of course. But I feel like Gondor could maybe be putting a bit of extra pressure on. Also, something that you could be doing as well with your fire arrows is maybe trying to burn this tower down. I think they've made it so you can't actually burn down these defenses, which I think, again, makes sense. It gives the defenders at least that bit of advantage. And again, they've done that with the rocky formation here as well. But yeah, I would assume you can't burn this down because of whatever is below this is probably like countering it from being destroyed. I say that though, that this has been destroyed, so maybe actually I take that back then. I guess if this has been destroyed, you probably can. So yeah, burning this down with fire arrows, really important. That would open up such a big extra avenue of attack. Probably can't get round here, but still, doing that is probably going to be a big help. Move here, though, by the Gondorians on the extreme left flank. They're bringing up their Pelagian Marines, utilizing them javelins, and then charging in. Going to be important. The Guards of Imladris. This is an elite, Elrond's chosen, some would say. And taking care of this unit is really important, as you get a nice little counter charge there by the Easterlings, looking to break their way in and help support their elven comrades in this battle, at least. But yeah, as I mentioned, like, that Guards of Imladris unit, very expensive, very elite. So if you can just kill it with missiles without really exchanging much in the way of soldiers, then that's just huge. That's just absolutely massive. And you should try and do that 100% of the time if you can. As more and more Gondorians, it does seem like the soldiers are being thrown forward in full faith. And again, they're breaking through this, which is nice. They are going to be meeting some of the kind of Dunland axemen and other archers. But yeah, you need to exploit this. You really do. There's a lot of Gondorians that could be thrown into the fight right now to reinforce. I mean, even the dwarves are kind of sitting a bit further back, and I guess they're a little bit worried about missile fire, but that range is not gonna be hitting you too hard. Over here as well, we are making pretty swift progress. The men of Umber are able to get in, but again, this is the perfect place to really utilize that cavalry and charge down, because there's nothing really, there's no real massive choke point. And the cavalry can come in here and do great work. However, nice play here by the Umberites. They're doing a great job at harassing it with their missiles. The best way to deal with cavalry, gets close, you hammer with archer fire. However, they are being chased down. Flee for your lives as the elves make a final charge. This is a true death stroke, but able to get in here and able to start cutting down some of the running away archers. I mean, realistically, at this point, you probably just need to hold them so that your Umber usurpers can catch up. The right-hand side is still holding just about, though. I would say, yeah, this flank is going to be gone. Again, there's not really a lot of defenders here. Like, they have, what, one general's bodyguard? This is Elrond himself. Oh, man. Elrond himself in his beautiful red armor. Beautiful character model. And this is something they're actually doing a lot more in the Dawnless Days mod, is they are starting to add in these custom generals. I think a bunch more of them are actually in the mod in the most recent update, which is again all gearing up to that glorious campaign that is coming in the next handful of updates. Very exciting indeed. Gondor have now broken through. They've immediately been surrounded by shock infantry upon shock infantry, which is brutal, honestly. Gondor has taken a pounding in this battle. Bravely fighting though, of course. But yeah, definitely being focused down here. A lot more of the archer fire coming in, hitting the Pelargir Marines. Another engagement here. Yeah, basically all the shock infantry has been deployed here. And yeah, that's kind of why you need your archers here to kind of punish that. If these three archers were all volleying in, you take care of them very, very quickly, as the defense does still hold. And there you go, more cavalry here running through the remnants. And this is going to be a big move here. The Noldrin horsemen throwing up. And able to get some nice little charges down the hill, kind of repel the attack. There's still plenty more to come in, though. Plenty more. We also have some crossbowmen, some more pikemen as well. Obviously, the pikemen are being held until a lot more of this ammunition is done. And then basically a mass push here by the men of Umber. They're looking to break through this. Oh, and seems like a bit of a miss micro. These guys have been overcommitted now. That's really unfortunate. They were obviously chasing a unit, and, you know, their focus is on elsewhere, and they've just kind of got that a little bit too close into the combat. Obviously quickly realized, but losing a handful of models is always a shame on your archers, because that basically just means a handful less shots. You know, you lose that ammunition, you don't just get it back. So every model you lose is going to be a real shame. And then a nice move here by Umber to really break around the flank here, surround this extremely tanky unit. I'm assuming you kill them the better. Though it does seem like they are going after the archers. Definitely a smart move and getting really deep in that line. God damn, these two soldiers. That was a charge and a half right there. Able to really get deep in that battle line. Very nice indeed. And they're going to be able to hopefully rack up a bunch of kills. They are now a bit vulnerable, and the cavalry is circling like sharks, immediately making their way in. And that's going to be pretty brutal. But then the missile fire is going to, of course, completely change. And here we go, the champion Reavers right into the side there. That's going to be enough to save the archers, thankfully. And the Bane of the Steppe now coming in as well, following that charge forward. But it does also now give the chance to them to kind of counterfire. Again, wouldn't be a bad idea to try and have maybe your own cavalry up here, like this Dorwinno cavalry could advance. Again, I don't know why the players are kind of being so reluctant to bring up these extra soldiers. They have enough infantry and stuff to really defend this, so they just need to kind of commit. Nice move here, though, by the left-hand side. The Dorwinians have now broken their way up this hill, bringing up their pikemen as well as the out-of-ammunition archers just kind of act as a blocking, a shielding unit as you were. And again, then pikemen are being protected by everything they have right there as more soldiers are brought into the fight. And yeah, this is like a good point. Again, I don't want to harp on this. This will be the last time I mention it. But yeah, it's just a real kind of, I guess, if you're trying to learn to be a better player, this is, again, one of the reasons why you want your soldiers a little bit closer. Like, look at this. Like, this position, Gondor has been beaten back now. So the fact that they are now reinforcing with their soldiers, like, it basically allows them to commit all this extra infantry to help kind of dominate this one side. Like, this side is slowly breaking, but now they've been able to kind of commit all their reserves to this flank because there's just not really a lot going on here. And by the time these guys get there, they're going to be able to deploy other soldiers and kind of react to this. And one thing you want to do as much as possible whenever you're attacking in a siege battle is mount the pressure. The defenders are at a massive disadvantage because they can't have as much resources as you. They just don't get as much money. They can't have as many units. So you want to kind of basically attack them on every single front because eventually one side will buckle and you don't want to give them a moment's breath. You don't want to give them a second to go ahead and kind of recalibrate their forces, commit them to where they're needing. You want to try and encourage them to overcommit in some areas and undercommit in others. And this is obviously a clear example of that, you know, the fact that they've been able to now reinforce this right-hand side, which is very, very, very close to breaking on like both of these positions, but they've been able to get more of their units over and they've had time to kind of rest and recuperate, and now they can basically just kind of, you know, commit the bare minimum to this side. Whereas if, you know, this Fountain Guard and the Pelagian Marines were already up here, that'd be a completely different story. Also, like, yeah, again, I don't know why the missiles are sitting back. You just need to be up here and kind of firing. You want to get your ammunition done early. And that's also another really good point as well, as you get a beautiful charge here by the elves here onto the dwarves. Some real dwarven combat. They have some beautiful axe throws on the flank as well, firing in on these incoming soldiers. But yeah, that's another reason why you really want to utilize your missiles as the attackers as well. But sorry, yeah, as the attackers, because if you can break that initial defense, like, it really does start to crumble, and you can really focus down a lot of the shock infantry and kill their valuable units. And again, their units are really precious as the defenders, so if you can get your archers on them early, oh baby, are you gonna make it into a good situation. Speaking of which, I don't know, is it just me? Or is it just like very satisfying about watching dwarves and elves fight, you know? Oh my god, that's some good kill animations as well. The beautiful armor, the huge hammers of the dwarves, perfectly met to end the immortality of the elves. And boom, that flank has now completely broken. This is big. This is big. We're going to be able to completely outflank here. The only scary thing is this cavalry right here. That can move down and cause a lot of issues. Some more axe throwers coming up here. Oh, it does also seem like, yeah, it does also seem like the Fountain Guard are set up, but I think this cavalry is going to try and come around and flank them. And again, another big problem, like, you have nothing to reserve. If this unit of Citadel Guard was here, they could block off this position. But yeah, now this cavalry is going to come out, and I think Gondor, their days are numbered. That's for sure. However, even if that flank is crumbling, again, keep in mind there are still a lot of soldiers. Some very good Black Numenorian infantry here as well. These guys with the name I'm not even going to try and pronounce. They're a very, very, very deadly infantry unit. And they'll basically be pretty much anything they come into contact with. The dwarves are now committing everything they have now. And yeah, this side is going to break. And ideally the cavalry, but yeah, the cavalry is going to clean this up really, really brutally. Again, a nice little rear charge there by the defenders. Here we go, another little charge here. I don't know if these Pelagian Marines are going to be able to set up. They are in shield wall. Oh, and a nice little counter on that charge, kind of pulling back at the last second. Again, just outmaneuver them. Are they going to go in though? Wow, they're still going to go in. Probably not the best charge right there. You can still see how much damage it does do though. Even in shield wall, even brace cavalry is brutal. But the Athilian Rangers are going to be unleashing a couple volleys as they try and pull out. And again, every unit of Champion Reavers you kill is going to be huge. Oh, nice. It does seem like the Fountain Guard, though, have broken forward. This entire flank has gone down. And this death ball of, like, small units is also pushing off. Yeah, but you really just need, like, another charge. But we're coming out of the water. Oh, there's a really unfortunate move there by the elves. Trying to counter-charge, getting a bit stuck on enemy infantry. And then pushing up. But again, the Dunherd Chosen going to be able to counter-charge here. And there's a lot of tired dwarves. Like, these are fresh units now fighting. The dwarves have been pretty much engaged since the beginning of the battle. Whereas these Dunherd Chosen have had all the time in the world to have a cup of tea, afternoon tea, even an evening tea. Their second breakfast has been enjoyed. And now they can finally get their weapons bloodied, charge into the battle. So nice move here, and again, it's just hard. It's just hard because the pressure is just mounting and not crumbling. Yet again, right here, we need these guys again. They're waiting for their reinforcements to push up. They need to come in now. The defenders are completely filling back because again, their numbers are dropping. They've done a great job, honestly, considering how outnumbered they are. They managed to get it down to 3,000 to 1,500. So that 2-to-1 advantage is still sticking in, but I think it's always good if you can kind of keep that as the defenders. Another unit broken down. An enemy general has gone down as well. Ooh, a Dunlin general. I don't think Dunlin really have much left now. But yeah, they're going to simply fall back. And again, this is now a perfect opportunity. You need to come around here. You need to soften up these defenses as quickly as possible. You want to stop everything from getting back here if you can. And again, that's why you need your soldiers like fully committed. We are getting the Dwarven general though moving up. This is Dain Ironfoot. So we're taking all the named characters. Look at him as well. It looks beautiful. That huge old hammer. I imagine he's going to come flying in the side here. The enemy cavalry is coming down. Hopefully the cavalry can't get a good charge off because they're kind of going from their own unit. They need to be careful where they can't commit to themselves. Yeah, Dain is in a tricky spot. He is charging into the cavalry, which is nice. Able to catch onto him as well. They're going to hopefully maybe kill the Nordred horseman. Maybe. Able to get in there, but again, fighting enemy cavalry is always going to be difficult. But it does leave themselves very vulnerable right here. And again, this is why these guys need to rush forward. They need to get in here to help support this. They need to cut off their retreat. Gondor need to push in with everything they've got and really help this out. Otherwise, they're going to take so many casualties. And you basically end up leaving Dain completely by himself. And the elves and the rest of the cavalry and the shock infantry, you know, as good as Dain is, that banner is going to be going down, and he is going to be laying in a watery grave, unfortunately. Yeah, there you go. Dain has been slain on the battlefield now. The rest of the dwarfs are now breaking. And I think they were just lacking a lot of support. This was the perfect opportunity for either side to kind of come in here and really cut off the retreat here. The men of Umber are pushing in, but again, their men are exhausted. And the enemy cavalry is even, oh my god, look at this, the Dorowino cavalry. I guess they're getting shot to pieces right now. And they are just sentries as well. They're not exactly the elite shock cavalry. But here we go, another little charge right there. Again, the elves are going to easily win this one down, getting the way better charge of them. Oh my god, that was like a total arena charge right there. They ripped through them like a butter, able to send them flying into the abyss. Yeah, the dwarves are completely gone. Okay, this battle is definitely a lot closer. The defenders are up against it for sure, but they've broken the dwarfs. Now the dwarfs are completely gone again. I feel like they were pretty much lambs to the slaughter, left to die. And now it's up to everybody else to push in here and try and claim victory. This is, though, one of the advantages of kind of keeping your soldiers in reserve a lot of the time, is you can now commit them to this fight where your soldiers are a lot fresher and the enemy forces are pretty tired from the hard fighting. So now Gondor is coming in. They can at least utilize that to their advantage. Their men are pretty fresh. There's not many missiles to kind of focus you down. Your own archers, like there's a lot of Aphelian rangers here and Gondorian archers, which can now focus down the shock infantry. You know, this would be a great target right here for your archers to come in. Your Fountain Guard kind of move up a bit unmolested, which is always nice. And the rest of the attackers are now throwing forward everything they've got here. Garbo getting a bit enveloped. This is one thing you definitely do not want. Also, this tower still hasn't been claimed as well. There's like an inch left on the tick. You really do need to take these towers down because they will rack up kills, and even on your good soldiers. Nice missile placement here by the Gondorians, the Aphelian Rangers, picking out a unit of these axemen and focusing them down. Lancer power bar is looking very much in favor of the attackers, and I guess it's mainly because the defenders just don't have as many men left as they would like. More volleys coming in here, and yeah, I guess again having these missiles left remaining, able to fire them in like so on the shock infantry, it does make a big difference. There you go, the Fountain Guard fighting a surrounded battle, but if you're going to trust anybody to fight surrounded, I guess the Fountain Guard is one of those units that you do always rely on and respect. And yeah, big units of archers now breaking. The rest of the reinforcements coming, and there's just so many missiles left. I think we are going to see the attackers claim this one. But my lord, the defenders put up an amazing fight there. I thought they might have had a chance, but I think at this point, there's just a little bit too much left now. 2,000 to 750. Yeah, I mean, I guess maybe if there was a few less missiles left remaining, I'd have a bit more hope. They could probably hold the choke point a little bit more. They're fighting bravely on to the end, and the morale is really coming in to bite them. Yeah, these crossbows are going to be able to do a pretty nice job here. They're going to be able to fire on the move. Oh my god, just hitting into Elrond's units, killing 3 elves. God damn, not the way you want to go down. We also have some more Noldrin swordsmen. They do get a charge off, folks. They are going to try and take down as many as possible before their inevitable doom does erupt. But yeah, we got some more of the infantry coming in. And the fact that these guys are basically untouched is just brutal. We can watch Elrond's final stand though. And yeah, once again, any friendly fire that happens is fine at this point. The battle is overwhelmingly in the attacking favor. And I guess it is true what they say. Attackers always win and defenders, hashtag, never win. And look at that off in the distance right there. We have the Gondorian general coming in last minute to claim all the glory. I feel like that's typical Gondorian fashion right there. Yeah, the remnants of the soldiers, that's going to be down. And yeah, the forces are going to be overrun and the attackers are going to claim this one. But yeah, also, like, this map was a really cool one. I'm really hopeful if more and more of the maps are like this, they get more and more cool custom architecture and designs like this. The campaign is going to be really exciting to fight on. And I think that's one of their big focuses going forward as well. They did a roadmap a couple of weeks ago. Again, check out the channel if you're interested in that. They did a big roadmap kind of detailing their plans going forward. And yeah, that was one of the big things, was adding in more custom settlement battles like that, which aren't the traditional major ones and just the minor ones, which again, really exciting stuff. But that is going to do it for today's video. If you guys enjoyed, please do consider dropping a like and a comment down below, and I'll see you guys in the next one.